the team on the other side, which was the Warriors. And Steph Curry, who let me back up a bit. I've been working on a project in my spare time during quarantine, the 50 best players of the last 50 years of the NBA. So essentially Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to right now, who are the 50 best guys. So we're removing the Russells and the Wilts, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, those guys. I've got Steph Curry 13th as the 13th greatest player of essentially the modern era. And I feel good about that. I've got Kevin Durant 12, just those two guys neck and neck, right behind Dr. J and Moses Malone. Ahead of Dirk, ahead of Isaiah Thomas, ahead of Kevin Garnett, ahead of, well, basically everyone except for the 10 greatest players ever. But here is what I am concerned about for Steph and for the Warriors. I think this year is going to expose, not expose Steph as a player, but expose a part of Steph Curry's game that a lot of us, even those of us who say greatest shooter ever, one of the greatest teammates ever, a great champion, all these things, have always quietly suspected, but have never been able to see, which is, all right, we know Steph is the perfect piece on a great team. But can he carry a bad team? Not to a championship, not to 55 wins. How about to the playoffs? If not to the playoffs, to a 500 record. Because there's a really weird, there's like in the NBA these days, there's people that are fans of teams, but almost more than that, there's people that are fans of players. And there is this, you know, the Steph Hive, Russ, Harden, Chris Paul once upon a time had a pretty fervent fan base. And all the point guard fans kind of argue amongst each other. And when Russ averaged his triple-double, and folks thought he shouldn't have won that MVP, and when Harden averaged 35 a game and then 33 a game, what Steph fans would say is, man, let Steph Curry have that usage rate. Let Steph Curry get to run that ISO ball, that style of offense. He would show the world what he could do in that system. Instead, he's running a team system, team-friendly system, the beautiful basketball that Steve Kerr learned from Greg Popovich, all of it. And that seemed like a legitimate argument. The counterpoint is this. Steph has never needed to do that, what Russ had to do the year KD left, or the year KD was injured, what Harden had to do his first year in Houston and the year before they got Chris Paul in Houston, which is be an offense unto himself. Say, listen, can't win a title, but we're going to get to 45 wins plus. We're going to get to the playoffs, and it's going to be all through me. Steph's never had to do that. And what I fear we're going to find out this year is that's very good because he can't. And that's not a massive indictment, but when we're talking about the twin history of the game, it's a little indictment. It's got to matter somewhat. Who are the best point guards of the last 20 years? Basically post-Jason Kidd, so the last 15 years. Chris Paul, Harden, Russ, Steph. I think everyone on the all-time player pyramid has Steph above all those guys. He's got 3 championships. Those 3 guys combined have 0. He's got 2 MVPs. Those 3 guys combined have 2. He is without question the best of those 4. But all of those 4, you know what they absolutely could do, and we saw them do it? Drag a mediocre or a bad team to a winning record in the playoffs. Chris Paul's missed playoffs 1 year in his career, and he was hurt for 30% of it. And you might say, oh, he was on great teams. Not early in New Orleans, he wasn't. And when I say he's never missed the playoffs, after his first couple years in the league, I should say. For all these guys, we're talking about year 3 and beyond. The only time he missed the playoffs was the year he missed a lot of the year due to injury. And the teams early in his career in New Orleans weren't great with respect to David West. And last year's team, the Thunder, that was not a great team. Russell Westbrook has missed the playoffs one time. And that time, his team won 45 games and lost it on a tiebreaker to New Orleans. He's never been on a bad team. And the first year without Durant, averaged a triple-double and dragged Victor Oladipo and Steven Adams to the postseason. James Harden, since he went to Houston, sometimes he's had excellent supporting casts. His first year there, he didn't. The last year before they got Chris Paul, he didn't. And guess what? Never missed the postseason. 40-plus wins every single season. I was excited last year to see if Steph could do that. He broke his hand. They then decided not to put him back out there. They wanted the pick. They didn't. Fine, whatever. And then tragically, Klay gets hurt again. So now we're going to get a second chance at it. And watching the Warriors last night and watching Steph last night, what I thought was a coin flip, could he do it? I now think it's 80-20 against. That while it is 100% accurate to say, take the 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018 Warriors, Steph Curry was a better fit on those teams than any other perimeter player in the league. Russ couldn't have done what Steph did. Harden couldn't have done what Steph did. CP3 couldn't have done what Steph did. I think we might learn this year that the opposite is also true. That on the 2017 Thunder, Steph Curry could not have done what Russell Westbrook did, dragging that team to the playoffs. On the 2015 or 2012 Rockets, or 2008 Hornets, or 2020 Thunder, that Russ couldn't have done what James Harden or Chris Paul did. Or that Steph couldn't have done what James Harden or Chris Paul did. And when you're talking about, like I said a moment ago, I think Durant's the 12th greatest player of the last 50 years. Steph's the 13th. Why is Steph behind Durant? Durant had to join Steph's team. Steph's got more MVPs. Steph's got more titles. Because Kevin Durant's not missing the playoffs. He's healthy, he's in his prime, he's just not going to miss the playoffs. Doesn't matter what's around him. I don't know that after this season, we're going to be able to say the same thing about Steph Curry. Speaking of Kevin Durant, what did the Nets look like last night?